Hey everybody, NavyDoc5184 here, and welcome to my Beatles reaction. And we are going to be reacting to, looks like a fan-made video of the top 50 Beatles songs. So the thing about the Beatles is it's like, how do you really pinpoint a list? You know, top 50 is going to be so hard. I'm sure that there's going to be so many different songs that different people would place in different spots. So I'm really looking forward to this list, seeing how they have it. I'm probably going to be more focused on their top 10, but either way, so this is due to the Beatles winning that tournament from the best European groups. So, and anybody who knows anything about me knows that the Beatles are my all-time favorite group. So I'm actually very glad they won this because I'm going to enjoy this, but hopefully it doesn't trigger me too much, because I'm very curious to see, you know, what their criteria is and what makes the top songs or whatever. But either way, we're just going to go ahead and get started. I will leave a link to the original video in the description below, and let's go ahead and get this thing started. Okay, I think that's a solid start. Very solid start. Ooh, that's a very good. Ooh, 49, huh? I think I would have ranked this one a little higher, to be honest. Maybe in the 40s still, but probably a little higher than 49. Ooh, this is a very good one. I wonder if I would have even thought to put this in my top 50, but yeah, I think it deserves to be there. That's a good one. I think I would have thrown in Sgt. Pepper, the one before that, with it, because it's like a good mix. Ooh, yes, that's a good one. I probably would have ranked this one a little higher too. This is a good one. Probably one of my favorite songs with George doing vocals. This, I feel like, is a very underrated Beatles song. This is a great song. I love this. I definitely would have had this probably in the 30s. This is actually probably pretty close where I would have put this one. Very good though. I love this. I definitely would have ranked this one higher. I love this song. This whole album in general was a work of art. Ooh. This is why I call it Forgotten Great. And I say Forgotten Great because it's such a great song, but when you list your songs, this is easily a song that could probably just slip your mind, and then you hear it and you're like, why didn't I think of that song? And I think that's what makes the Beatles so great, is they have so many songs where you try to make up a top list and then you hear a song somewhere and you're like, oh, it really makes you kind of question your original list, because you're like, how could I have forgotten that song? And I think this is a song that perfectly fits that category well. That's why I call it a Forgotten Great, because it's one that you kind of forget about, but it's so great at the same time. I love this. Is probably, I'd say, top 30 for me. I think I would have had it higher than 41. At the same time though, I probably would have forgotten it, but now that it's in my head, I probably easily could have probably put it, you know, more top 30. Well, maybe top 40, probably above, you know, a little higher than, you know, I don't know whether I should say higher or lower than 41. Because when I say higher, I meant ranked better. But anyhow, let's go ahead and let's get back to it. That's a good one. That's a real good one. Another great album. This is probably my third favorite Beatles album, Rubber Soul. Ooh, that's a good one. I like it. This is a real fun one. Very fun one. 38, huh? I definitely would have ranked this one higher. I say that now, but we'll see what they all have. Yeah, this definitely needed to be on this list. That was a fun movie too. Okay, this might be the first real issue I have with this list, because for me, this song is I don't know if I would put it top 10, but I wouldn't put it any worse than top 15. So this is probably the first real issue I have with this list, but at the same time, thank God it's at least on the list, because if it wasn't on the list at all, I might have to fight somebody. I think I have an even bigger issue with this being a 35 than I did with All My Lovin' being 36. This, I don't know how you can't put this song as top 10. I honestly don't know how. But let me see what their top 10 is, and maybe I'll forgive them. I'll somewhat forgive them, because ranked at 35, that almost feels like a travesty. Not even gonna lie. Okay, I think this is a good spot for the song. Decent spot, I think. Now this is a great song, but it's not better than All My Lovin' or something. Ooh, this one I think should be ranked higher too. Probably top 25 though, so not too far off for me. Okay, I like what they did there, where they added the Carry That Weight in the end with that one, because the three mixed together, yes. That whole side of that album. Yes. That's a fun song. That's a good one too. That's a very good one. Really no complaints with this one. Ooh. Oh. Oh man, I can't believe, in my head I think I might have forgotten about this one. I think this goes in the same category as I'll Be Back, where it's like a forgotten great. Man, jeez, I almost feel like I just want somebody just to throw me with a good right hook for not even thinking of this song, off the top of my head, as being a top 50, because I think it definitely deserves to be in the top 50. Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty good spot for it, to be honest. That's a good one too. Rubber Soul had a lot of good songs on it. That's This is a song for its time and ahead of its time at the exact same time, if you know what I mean, because boy, if that's just that's just perfect for really any situation you're in, and even with my religious beliefs, it's like that's the whole main focus is, it's like love is the most important thing, above all. Like, it doesn't matter what else you can do. It's like if you don't have love, nothing else really matters. So this is probably why this song is really a good one for me. Now, if I'm being objective, this is probably close to where I would put it, but for me personally, probably another higher, like top 20. So it's pretty close to probably where I would have put it, personally. Yep. I guess technically you could say this is the one that started it, being the first song off Please Please Me. That's a good one. And Paul really knew how to do his ballads, didn't he? That's a good one. We're getting into that top 20. That's where the list is going to get interesting. 21, huh? Probably close to where I would have put it, maybe. That's one of my personally this is definitely in my top 10.
The kiss my lover brings,
That's another good one.
brings to me, and I love her. Love me do. You know
Okay.
I love you.
Alright, so while this is a good one. So while this song is a good one, I don't know if I would have had it ranked that high. This probably definitely would have been in the 30s for me. Definitely no way this is better than Something. You know, my opinion solely, there might be some people where this is probably in their minds the best. In fact, there's another Beatles reaction video I did. It was like a top, I forget what it was. Maybe it was another top 10, but I think this was ranked number 1, and that almost had me like, so, I'm kind of glad they didn't put this in top 10, because to me, it's not one of their top 10. Like I said, I probably would have maybe had it in the 30s. But definitely, in my opinion, no way this is better than Something or even All My Loving.
So please,
I like how they did the White Album version of this song. White Album's like my second favorite album version. And this album is my favorite, Abbey Road. Come Together, that's a good one. So I just gotta say, like, Abbey Road, the main reason that is like my favorite Beatles album is because it is the only Beatles album where every single song I love. Now, like, they have albums where they have songs that I kind of like, but it's like if I'm listening to them, I can kind of skip them. Whereas Abbey Road is the only album where it's like from start to finish, I can just listen straight through it and not even have an urge to skip a song. Like, honestly, it was like, I don't think there was any way they could have ended any better than they did with Abbey Road. My opinion, still solely, but yeah, like with me, like with albums, it's like Abbey Road, White Album, Rubber Soul. Man, this is the song that got me introduced to the Beatles. This is a good one. I love this one. Yeah, that's probably about where I would put this one too. Where things really started to change for him. And this is where it all started for him in America. Yeah, very valid spot right here. Very valid spot. Great song. See, and what I love about this one is if you've seen any of my other reaction videos, I talk about sometimes how less is more. And this is another song that really encapsulates that so well. There's like, all it is just strings and Paul, and it's just an absolute masterpiece, man. Paul and his songwriting, I think I've mentioned this before, is like, with me, John is my favorite, and I like his songs better than I like Paul's. But one thing I'll say about Paul is I think Paul wrote more good songs than John did. Now, the good songs that John did, I think were great, and I like those better than Paul's. But if you're going to ask me who do I think did better songs, like more in terms of quantity, Paul, hands down, I think was, I don't have words for it. I just don't have words. So now we're getting into the top 10. So let's see what this person has as their top 10. This right here, in my opinion, this song right here, in my opinion, I think is what really kind of, I think you had to accept that George's songwriting was on par with John and Paul. And it's just, I can't even put my finger on it. But it's like when you think of George Harrison and his songwriting when it came to the Beatles, I would probably say, this is one of probably 3 songs that people instantly think of. Between this, Something, and Here Comes the Sun. I would imagine that those would be the top 3 songs that anybody would have when it comes to George Harrison and his songwriting. But this, I think, is what really started to get people to realize that, you know, he easily could be on par with John and Paul when it comes to songwriting. So that's a very valid spot. Ah, yes! Definitely deserves top 10 for this one, I'm sure, yeah. Good one, but I don't know if I'd do top 10. No, maybe I would. I don't know. I'll have to revisit this later. This I probably would have replaced with All My Loving, but I wouldn't have had this ranked as low as All My Loving either. Another one, another really good one. Oh, that's a shocker. What do y'all think about this one? I'm not quite sure how I feel about this one. This is a great one, but number 5, huh? I don't know if I would have done number 5 for this one. I don't think I would have had this song ranked that high. I mean, it feels acceptable to be in the top 10. I just don't know if I would have put it in there. But again, it's just one of those things where it's just like, you know, it's just different for everybody. Yeah, I don't think I would have had this at number 4, but definitely top 10. Okay, that's a good one. I don't think I would have had this ranked number 3 though. All right, so now we're getting to the final 2, and there's 2 songs instantly in my head that I know I haven't heard yet, and they better be here. I don't exactly care how they rank them, but Yesterday and Hey Jude. Now, personally, I don't think I would have Yesterday as number 2, but it definitely deserves top 10. Like, I think for me, it probably would have been personally number 4. But if those 2 songs aren't on this, then we're going to have to fight somebody. Me, personally, Hey Jude is number 1. But I'm very curious to see. Oh, boy, I hope one of those 2 songs is the next one that comes on here. Okay, good. That's acceptable. Which means Hey Jude better be number 1. If Hey Jude's not on this list, we got problems. Alright, what is it? Okay, we're good. List valid. List is valid. You can't have a top Beatles list anywhere. Oh. Alright, I wasn't quite ready for that. Wasn't quite ready for that. That's nice though. That's nice that they did that. You're welcome. Alright, so overall, I can't really say I have an issue with that list. Yeah, that was a pretty good list. Like I said, there's a couple songs I definitely would have ranked way higher, and some songs I probably would have ranked lower, you know, and some I might have just moved like a couple spots. But overall, I can't really complain about the list. I mean, again, they had so many great songs, though, that if you're literally just sitting and writing down just by your head, you know, it's like, it's very easy to miss one. Now, there are 2 songs, though, that I am kind of disappointed aren't on there, but at the same time, it's like, I can kind of understand why they weren't on there, and that's their songs Free as a Bird and Real Love. Now, the reason I say that is because it's like those songs helped introduce a new generation to the Beatles. Like even though me and my brother, we both knew Twist and Shout, but that was the only Beatles song we know. Then they came out with Free as a Bird, and my brother loved that song, and that was kind of like what started getting him into the Beatles, and I was kind of like, yeah, okay. Then Real Love came out, and that was what did it for me. So that is probably more personal that I would have added those on there. Would I have put them like top 10 or anything? No, but in a top 50, for sure. Just because of the fact that those 2 songs, you know, helped introduce a new generation to the greatness that is the Beatles. But like I said, overall, I really have no issues. If any issues I have outside of the two would probably just be nitpicking. But outside of that, I really enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna revisit this and maybe like take the songs that were on this list and do what would I put as my top 10. And I'm actually very curious on what your top 10 is. And it doesn't have to even be songs on this list. In fact, I'm probably just gonna do my top 10 in general. But I'm very curious. What is your top 10 for Beatles? So leave your top 10s in the comment. I'm very curious to see what you all would choose. But anyway, thank you all for stopping by and watching this, and I'll catch you all down the road.